Back on the Reier on YouTube channel on a Tuesday night. It is a signature event week on the PGA Tour out at Pebble Beach. But the big news on Tuesday involving the son of legendary Tiger Woods is Charlie Woods commits to Florida State. I'm Travis Reier. He's Casey Smith. Casey, I know you have still a lot of people that you're connected with in the golf industry, in the golf world. We had actually talked about Charlie a couple of episodes ago here on Cart Golf and where he might be in his recruitment for the 2027 class. And at that time, you felt like there were a couple of schools that were right there in that mix for his services. And Florida State was one of them. And today we find out he's not only going to Florida State, he's going to join Miles Russell there in Tallahassee. Pretty nice two step.
Yeah, I mean Charlie Woods, the number 21, 21st ranked junior in the junior class, committed to Florida State over Alabama. I thought, I was told he was up at Tuscaloosa some playing Crimson Reserve. I have some people that really close with, even that were out there watching, following around the LSU weekend when LSU played Alabama in football. He visited with his mom and not his dad. His dad had been up during week visit, and I heard was ready to commit, and dad wasn't there. I told him to hold off, and anyway, to wait. And then in that time period from there until now, Miles Russell committed to Florida State. And Miles Russell and Charlie Woods are both Miles Russell, the number one junior in that class. They're both signed with TaylorMade. There's definitely familiarity there in the TaylorMade circles. The dad, Miles Russell's been one of TaylorMade's top junior endorsees, and Tiger's obviously with TaylorMade. Charlie's got to deal with TaylorMade as well. So, natural fit. I mean, they've produced Brooks Koepka, um, Daniel Berger, Luke Clanton. They finished ninth last year. I mean, it's really going. What I'm told is, you want to go win a national title. The kids won a high school state title already. I think two. They've gone back to back. And his dad won a college golf national title,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's obviously important to them. There's I think, probably some legacy feel there. They like to win, and I'm sure if you got the number one player in your class, yeah, recruiting you to go
Mm-hmm.
along with you. If you're the peer version of that, you have to feel good about that. And I was told that was obviously going on.
Sure.
That so I think what is the doesn't feel good probably for Alabama, because I think they really thought up until I heard it up until like the last couple of weeks until that commitment happened.
Really.
And then
Alabama felt good. And you said it, Crimson Reserve, the big commitment that Alabama has made. J.C. Wells won a couple of national championships there in Tuscaloosa. The connection of Justin Thomas and
yeah,
Tiger Woods, as
yeah.
you have said here on the show, I mean, that's family like when you talk about
JT's
JT and
consulting
Tiger.
architect. Yeah, I mean, he's consulting architect at Crimson Reserve. I mean, his name is on the
Yeah.
scorecard, right? Um, he's obviously donating actively to the program. I'm sure that had something to do with the initial getting him there. Obviously, seeing all that fanfare around a football game and how cool Crimson Reserve is, really cool. I'm actually shocked. I really think pre NIL era, Crimson Reserve would have been an NIL
Yeah.
type of recruitment tool. And not that these kids have anything to these two, they don't have anything to do with. I don't really think NIL swayed this either way. Either of these kids. I think it would help get others, and like
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Watts, who's the uh one of the top ranked kids, top few ranked kids in this year's 26 class, Huntsville native, going to Tennessee to play
Yeah.
golf. And a lot of those facilities are great. None of them really are. I mean, not to be biased, but Alabama's facility is next level, and
It's elite.
uh,
Yeah.
it's elite. And I
Beyond
know,
elite.
yeah, and I even know some of they live from over here, architects of the clubhouse and stuff. I mean, like they built things in Dubai, and they're like, it's not as good
Right.
as this. So, yeah, big blow, I think, probably for JC Well tonight. I feel bad for him because he probably knew it was coming, but it never hurts when you got a new facility like that.
It doesn't. And Jay's going to continue to get great players. We know that about
Yeah,
Jay.
yeah.
Alabama's going to continue to put forth a top 15, top 20 program. Trying to get back, though, to those years with Davis Riley and with Justin, and guys that that year in and year out had the Crimson Tide in that top five, and playing the Jordan Spieths and the Texases for the national championship and on those biggest of stages.
Yeah, I would think that he is going to have. I mean, you haven't seen it as much in college golf, the transfer portal thing going on near like it has in other sports. And I, gentleman's game, whatever you want to call it. The kids don't need as much money, obviously, a lot of the golf thing, but there that is something that would sway people. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if I knew I had some young, good talent, I probably would go find. All you got to do is get two. Get
Yeah,
two kids if you got. I mean, you need two. And I think you probably, truthfully, being a former women's college golf coach, I told my dad the other day, I'm like, you could flip something in women's golf like that because
right,
you can get three. If you didn't have a team, you could flip a roster over and be
right.
really competitive.
Yeah, and to your
Men's is
point,
deeper,
Miles and Charlie, I mean, they're not as Florida residents dependent on like the Bright Future Scholarship to
right?
help fill the gaps, even where a scholarship is concerned. But yeah,
I mean, Blades Brown goes and gets his
yeah,
card. That's the whole thing. Like Miles Russell, you know, Charlie Woods is probably, if you look at it from right here, right now, Charlie Woods is probably going as it would be a 4-year player,
mhm.
3-year player for sure. He keeps getting better and better, and he's got some serious dog in him, right? I mean, he's got some of his dad. I don't know if,
Got some Tiger Dog in him.
yeah, I
No,
mean,
yeah,
like in those public appearances where he's played with his dad, you imagine you're playing with, and you've played grown up playing against Justin Thomas in your chipping games.
yeah,
It's sort of the Scotty Scheffler thing of, like Colt Knost always says, at Royal Oaks, he was the little kid that played in the games with us, and we finally started letting him play in like the real games, and he's shooting even par from the tips, not even able to get to the greens when he was 13,
yeah,
playing us for money, but he was getting up and down. And he was like, when you got that sort of around you, the pressure of playing college golf, and you go play free. And the one thing I see in Charlie Wood's game, he's got a really low number. If you see some of the scores he shoots, there's obviously some inconsistency around here and there. That's just golf, but it's hard to coach the getting the player, with the foot on the gas and not looking at the scoreboard and just going as deep as you can go.
Eh,
It's really it's a hard thing to get people comfortable getting really low, and he's very comfortable doing that. Well, every college coach is salivating because he's gone from, the 400th ranked junior
yeah,
to now the 21st ranked. And they managed this, I think, beautifully. The parents did. They didn't throw him out to the wolves to make him an AJGA kid like his dad. Just chased that dream and did that. And that could have been there for him. They let him grow up and sheltered him. And if it was going to work for him, it was going to work. And then they started putting him in, tournaments along a few years ago. And now it's really amped up to where he's won a couple of AJGAs, and his star's risen. I've always thought he's been underrated for his class because the eyes don't lie, like the tape doesn't lie. When I
right,
watch him play on television, you see what you see. You see why. If I was at any, I watched all those PNCs. I'm like, if I was an SEC school, I'd be offering him right now. Be the first to offer him. And his dad donates a lot of money to Stanford program, and it really wasn't a factor.
right. And to your point, Charlie, in those PNCs, you can say, well, it's set up friendly. It's supposed to be a birdie fest. It's a easiest
You play the
resort
T for
track,
you play the T for, he was
but
playing back.
he still is in that moment, in those big moments, in those events since a very young age. And to your point, he has pretty much knocked it out of the park in every
He's
one of
got the
those
swagger,
situations.
man.
He hasn't backed up. He
No,
hasn't backed up. No.
no, he hasn't. And I mean, if I'm the Florida State coach, having been a coach, knowing like I've had some influential kids that I coach, that is nothing. I mean, yeah, there's some more pressure coming your way and some more cameras and some things like that. But what you're gonna get. Your dad's got a clothing line, Sunday Red.
Mhm.
I mean, they're a Nike school,
Yeah,
but
I mean, are they going to go Sunday red at Florida State now, or
I mean, they'll have that's a
I'm just kidding.
tailor-made, but it's a really valid question. So it wouldn't violate their Nike deal because TaylorMade now owns Sunday Red, and
Oh,
and they have tailor-made deals, so they can wear stuff like that. They're just what they're going to get in exposure. You'll have people doing, which also is going to lead to probably some donations, right?
mhm.
I mean, this is a shot in the arm for Florida State's golf program for sure. And you got those two committed. Well, now they're going to probably, I mean, if I'm the another player in that class, I'm strongly considering that.
It's like getting Arch Manning committed if you're Steve Sarkisian, because the attraction now of Arch Manning as a quarterback in football, it's going to be similar, you would think. Look, Florida State's been very good in men's golf. A couple of years ago, they were right there. I think national runner up in 2024 with Clanton and that team. They've been right there knocking on the door. And maybe there's some of the attraction with that. They haven't been Texas or they haven't been Oklahoma State in terms of numbers of national championship wins, and an opportunity to go in there if you're Miles Russell and Charlie Woods and really put your stamp on a legacy at the college level.
Yeah, and they have a really good facility. Like their course is a good course, right? It's not it's and they don't have a lot of people playing it. So I've always thought that's the only negative thing about that Crimson Reserve. If you were a parent and you were going to both, having been a coach, you still got to play 18 holes to qualify,
Yeah.
right? And you can have a practice course and all that, and some of that starts taking, but you got to get a bunch of rounds in on 18 holes. You have
Mm-hmm.
to for it to be fair because that's what you're going to be playing. And I
So
mean,
is
yeah,
Alabama still going to Birmingham to do that?
I
Even
think they
with
probably
Crimson
play.
Reserve, they going to North River. They
I mean,
going
they're
back over the
probably
whole colony.
I think they're probably playing at two loops and stuff. I would assume. I mean, it's a golf course you can play two ways. He's probably doing that, but I'm sure if you're looking at it from, if there's only one knock, right? The only knock is it's still not. It's 9 holes. You can route it both ways and all that,
True.
and
Yeah.
they can play. He can set it up to where I did see all that where like it can really be two
Entirely
nines
different
that are
nines.
different, but you know, I mean, it's not, they've got their own big facility, big course, 18 holes, host an event. That's I would say Alabama is still definitely going to play real like golf courses. They always go to Shoal, they always go to Birmingham, Vestavia, Old Overton,
Inverness.
Inverness, old what you would call it, Waverly.
Yeah. Over in Mississippi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
30
That's not that
minutes.
far away. What? Yeah. Not
I
far at
mean, they're
all.
play. I know they play Indian Hills some, but that's not really
Oof.
applicable for what they're playing. And then
No.
and they're you know college golf season's really here. This was the this is not the preseason news they were hoping to get. I can tell you that.
But talk about what it potentially does for college golf, because college golf has been on the ascent in terms of exposure, in terms of coverage, televised events that are outside just the national, tournaments and the championships and those type of things. Could potentially Charlie Woods move the needle even more in that regard in terms of what we see of college golf on a week to week basis on Golf Channel and other outlets?
I would say absolutely. I mean, his father's going to be in attendance. His father is basically living with an ex-Trump, so there's even more media there. Whose daughter's playing at Miami.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, for sure, you're going to see, and Miles Russell's got a ton of game himself, and so when
Yeah,
you combine those two, uh, Charlie probably having like his ceiling is through the roof, right? His just ceiling is so high, hits it up forever, and I would say it means it means a lot to Florida State, and some of the other schools will get the benefit from it. But I mean, there's only one Tiger Woods, right?
But
and
to your
he's
point, I mean, from what I'm hearing from you, this isn't Gary Nicholas, son of Jack,
no.
back in the day. This is
I
a
mean,
real deal dude
my buddy Mike
in Charlie
is
Woods.
Jack's youngest son's investor in my company in my office, Mike Nicholas, and he played at Georgia Tech. And he told me, like, if you go this look at these articles back when he was coming out, it was like Mike Nicholas has hit the ball further than Tiger Woods. And he was like, that was one of the worst things that ever happened. I got covered
Gary
because
too.
then
Yeah.
I got this was I gonna be, like, I wasn't even in that realm.
And Gary
And
was on the cover of Sports Illustrated back when it meant something.
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pressure that came with that, I think, obviously. And this to me, this doesn't look like, hey, I'm giving you a scholarship. And Tiger used to be notoriously cheap. I hear that's not the case anymore. So I don't know what they're offering him because golf's not a fully funded sport.
Yeah.
But it's be interesting to be in that living room. It's probably has nothing to do with NIL. It has nothing to do with what you're getting. Um, I'm sure none of that was discussed. It's just nothing. And if you're from the dad's perspective, I would be thinking, hey, I've got the means. Go stack the deck.
Yeah.
Let's go
Well,
ahead
and
and.
also the facility, if there's something that needs to be done there in
I
Tallahassee.
mean, the thing that you'll see, I'm sure, there's camera crews following him, the documentary opportunities, the things now that you can as a player and a team receive money.
Mhm.
So the players on the team, I wouldn't be turning pro if I was whatever. If I thought I got a chance to play with him, because I mean, and your dad, the dad's
You mean
gonna.
Florida State might not be getting in the old Sprinter van as much starting in
Yeah,
2027?
I would say there'd be access to all that type of stuff and his instruction, and what people don't really see in college golf. It is a good thing. College golf is an incredible thing to go play college golf. Um, where they can play. Like they could probably play because they've got good pros and all that all around, but now they can play anywhere, right?
Mhm.
They can go play anywhere they want on the planet. That is a huge recruiting tool. I mean, I used some of that stuff in recruiting, and people do. Like
Mhm.
Georgia uses it every year. If you play at Georgia and you make your grades, you get to go play Augusta National. Um, every year. I mean, that's a big deal. They get to
Wow.
go spend a day there, and they get to go do it multiple times if you've qualified. But there's one day where it's just if you made your grades, right?
Wow. That is
Um,
a hell of a benefit, no doubt about it. Um, the beautiful thing about golf, as we know, is that Miles Russell, Charlie Woods, it guarantees nothing for Florida State. I mean, obviously, we've seen teams that are stacked, especially in those top two or three spots, win national championships. We saw it with Texas in the past. We've seen it with Alabama in the past. Um, but you still got to go out and do it.
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think Georgia's got a loaded roster upcoming. I mean, they've staggered where they've got kids. I mean, not to no shocker there. And I said something earlier that I would want to clarify. Like now, Miles Russell's different because he's number one, and there could be, lucrative equipment offers if he has a good year at Florida State and he gets on PGA Tour U early. Some of those opportunities that are there are new and great, but um,
Well, what if Miles Russell pulls a Nick Dunlap and wins when he's
yeah,
19, 20 years old? You talk about how that can impact a program. J.C. Well saw that firsthand. It's bittersweet. It's probably great for your program, but at the same time, going
he'd
into the
probably
spring
still be
season,
he'll still
yeah,
be there.
yeah,
He would be a senior,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it
I
just
mean, Jackson Coven State. That was what I was about to say. Now is the time I mean, in college golf history, you have a chance to retain people for longer
mhm,
because there's not as many spots in the PGA Tour, and that has pretty much now
NIL.
cycled in. You got the
Yeah.
NIL, and you got a path to PGA Tour U.
You
Why would you
probably
not?
have to worry more about live than you do the PGA Tour, right?
I mean, Michael Sasso left to go to live,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I would say yeah, and it'd be hard to if you were the coach to not tell the player to go to live. Because I thought about that the other day. I'm like, what if I was coaching him? One of them said, "Hey, coach, I got a $15 million offer to go to live. Got to go."
Yeah.
but I think retaining the player, and when you look at the spots to PGA Tour U and how they made that path clear, well, if
Mhm.
you can make whatever you're making at college and you get all of this, all the stuff they get, I mean, they're treated like pros. They fly private. They've got everything that they want. All the equipment's free, clothes. I
Hawaii
mean,
events.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, travel
Just had
everywhere,
one.
and college is the time of your life. I'm like, it is. It points to that Jackson Coven at Auburn staying and like not being in a hurry. Gordon
Hmm.
Sargent probably stayed too long at Vanderbilt. He
Mm.
should have probably gotten out a little when he was hotter, but he got a degree, enjoyed his 4 years. Hard to blame him. Um, that's a time you can't get back. It's good of a 4 year, 5 year run I've ever
Hmm.
had in my life. So, uh, I would think college golf, and you don't see a lot of them transferring. So they're going and reaping. They may not be making Ryan Williams money or whatever money, but they're making hell of money for,
Half
you
million
know,
a year or half million a semester
in
for some
college,
guys.
and
Yeah.
your parents
Playing
are,
golf.
and your parents or whatever. So like
Yeah.
that's your money. Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's
Think about it in terms of $40,000 a month
wild,
if you're
right?
a college golfer. Not all these guys, but
It's
obviously
like Pete Golding
Lasasso and
said.
those types.
It's like Pete Golding said. I started seeing them move into my neighborhood.
They're in the same country club, and not
That's
just in
right.
they're not in the condos in the country club either. They're in the
No,
estates.
that's
Stephen
right.
Burton chiming in here live with us on a Tuesday night. Good evening, Stephen. Evening, Stephen. I got that out okay. We're talking Charlie Wood's commitment to the Florida State Seminoles on a Tuesday. Give us some other things that maybe some perspective that you need to take into consideration with this news.
Oh, I mean, not that I think that they were paying him any money, but I mean, if I just don't know if Tiger was demanding what's market value for his son. And so
Yeah.
I thought about that as like, you've got a tighter budget, and you're now having to spend that either way. I think you're having to pay at Alabama 50 to 100 for your last guy on the roster a year. Um, so I think how this comes about, I'm sure the people at Full Swing or Netflix are salivating, going, "Hey, we got to get spin up a documentary here," because
Yeah.
that is something where they can actually take the pay out of. So I think you will see that. Um, FSU will also be able to get in any event that they want. You're not
Yes.
always guaranteed every event you want to play in. As a college golf coach, when even I had a great team, but you're not guaranteed some
What
events.
are those events like East Lake?
That event's not like that event's not I mean, some of it, that one's where how you finish, but there there are other events that, I mean, some of these events they have, there's an event at Cypress and Pebble. There's a,
Yeah.
like, when they have set fields, and so if you haven't ever played in that event and you want to play again, and they only let this many teams in, you're on the outside looking in,
Hmm.
unless you have this, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of those trump cards that, I would hate. I would say this. I would hate the coach. You're hoping, like everything, the kid comes ready to play, because their pressure to play him is going to be high, and that's
That's the
from
thing too, though.
everyone.
You got to qualify for a spot.
And in golf, the good news is it's math.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
math don't lie.
that's the other side of this, and you seem very convinced, like so many others, that that won't be an issue for Charlie Woods from early on in his time at Florida State. He's still got a year of high school, so we'll give him
I
an
mean,
opportunity to go ahead and do that. But looking ahead, Florida State's going to have really good players. Selfishly, I wanted Charlie Woods and Miles Russell in the SEC because then I could go right up the road to St. Simon's for the SEC tournament and watch those guys. But look,
Alabama plays at has been playing the last few years in Florida State's event at Watersound,
yeah, they
which
play
is
the hate here
yeah.
in Sawgrass.
And so that's one. I've got some friends down there with homes, and if he plays in that, we'll go over there and watch. That's easy to get around
Hmm.
and see, and that's usually in like February every year. Miles Russell in itself, I'm sure they're pretty ecstatic about getting him. I mean, He's
Yeah, big
he
time.
obviously, I guess he was a fan of some sort or connection there because like you said, I mean, yeah, they've produced some good players and they've obviously got something good going on there. I mean, you get good weather. It's not like you get terrible weather.
Tallahassee's not a great golf town,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it's
I
not at
mean, the
all.
courses, there's really nothing over there that just says, hey, come over
I
to
I'm shocked about
Tallahassee
it.
for 3 days and play some
Yeah, I mean,
golf, you know?
I'm shocked about that. I've been there,
Capital, I
so
mean, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm their club is the Florida State whatever where they play, but Ludwig Aubert, when he turned pro, moved in with this Swedish guy who had turned pro from there initially and moved to Tallahassee. So he was based out of there. Now he lives in Ponte Vedra, but he was. I remember seeing a couple of interviews of him chopping it up with their team. So they've obviously got some type of good facility there.
Lottie Wode, who is a emerging
Yeah,
star on the
yeah.
LPGA tour, played women's golf at Florida State. I think she still is posted up out of Tallahassee. And I hear that and I'm like, great, that's great. But I'm like,
I
where do
would
you
guess, right? I mean, you're closer. You're on this line. You're on the same geographical uh, line as them, and I would guess they're getting. You're inland, and
yeah.
you're probably getting pretty good weather year round. I know it gets hot as all get out there in summer,
Panhandle
but
golf from Tallahassee West isn't what it should be for
at
me.
all.
I know we're kind of branching off here, but you get west of Jacksonville, really. Hey, you start heading out I-10 West. Good luck finding something resembles really high level golf course.
If I'm in Florida, I'm going. That's the whole thing. Like I've been to all these places as you have. I'm going to Miami if I'm going to before I go to Florida State, right? Just for a lot of reasons. And not knocking Florida State. I'm shocked. I'll be honest with you. I'm really am shocked. I'm not shocked now that I heard that they sort of knew, but when I was told in November, it was like, I mean, a buddy of mine rode around for 9 holes with them, and they let 10 people follow, like members of
Mm-hmm.
Crimson Reserve, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I mean,
We
kids
got
love them
Bama
live.
Paul chiming in here. He says Tiger will build a course there and other entities. Yeah, I mean, there'll definitely be a pop stroke now in Tallahassee, right? If nothing else,
Probably.
there'll be a pop stroke. That's
Yeah.
Tigers. There's
I
one
don't
in
know how.
Tuscaloosa. Already
I don't.
got one in Tuscaloosa. Maybe that was part of the connecting of the dots. You know, you had the pop stroke already in Tuscaloosa, but Charlie goes to Tallahassee anyway. Stephen Burton chiming in here says he doesn't think NIL was a factor. I'm sure Tiger will probably change the FSU program with Charlie going there. That seems to be the
Yeah, I mean,
sentiment.
I think you're right. I think that there's not really a lot of change needed. I mean, they've got a really good program,
They do. He's not
and
going to Valdosta State.
they
Okay.
got Miles Russell going, and that tells you anything. They got him before they got Charlie Woods. So
Yeah.
I think Tiger just is. It's just the bonus. I actually think you just take Tiger Woods out of it. Say his dad wasn't even in around. You would still want Charlie Woods. He's really
And
that good.
just put the team on the plane and fly them to Jupiter, you know?
There's a lot of options to go. Hey, Dad, it's cold. We're really trying to play. Okay, let me go send the jet up, and you come down and play down here where it's warmer. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of cool things that you hear over time with parents that are involved like that. A lot of good perks.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
If you're the walk on, the person who stands to benefit the most and have the greatest experience ever is the walk on, whoever that is, that gets the walk on spot during this run.
You know, this is the first golf commitment we've talked about on this channel. We've talked a lot about football commitments, some basketball commitments as well, but I guess when it's the son of Tiger Woods, that's a good place to start. I mean, we've seen it in other sports. LeBron James with Bronny going to USC, with Bryce going to Arizona here in recent years. Certainly the Mannings. We've worked through that, but the debut of the golf commitment here on Reier on YouTube, Casey.
We got Tom Brady will be dating his kids come
Oh
his
gosh.
girlfriends if his
Uh,
boy ever comes out playing quarterback.
Yeah, he and
Um,
Leo DiCaprio. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But first golf commitment, but this is golf royalty. Um, I think it's funny. I texted with Mike Nicholas today, and he was like, every one of us, every time we all he's got four other siblings, himself five. They all played D1 athletics, and they
sure.
everything was. He was like, there wasn't any of the social media like this, but you would get your next Golf Digest, and here we are, where we went to school, what we were doing, and all
And
that.
that
So,
that's what it goes back to with Charlie, and we talked about this earlier, the wiring, because everything is going to be elevated. Every event, every time he steps on a golf course, he's been provided a little more cover on the junior circuit and in high school golf. I think it's going to take a big step up in that regard, and you feel very confident that he'll be
yeah,
able
I
to
think
handle
that
that.
I think he's done. I think that's the one thing I'm probably most confident of is for him is he's proven that already. Those AJGA events, your scores are blasted all over the world.
It's true.
And you can go Google that and find out when he shot bad scores, they post them. Boy, it's you can see what he shoots every day. I think they probably shielded him a little bit early on playing on the Notto Begay tour,
Hmm.
working his way to get to this level, but now it's free for all. And then his performance in those PNCs, that's real golf, real money, television, pros, and you're the youngest in the field. And you see
Yeah.
what happens when the other people bring young kids. Their teams aren't even near, competing.
Well,
This
and then
kid is,
you get Bernard Langer moving up to the amateur senior tees for the final round, or when.
I mean, his mom lives on the Bears, right? His mom lives on the Bears Club in Jupiter or near there now, like on the golf course. They have access to
Right.
his dad has a golf course in his backyard.
Yeah.
He's not his now his and she's a senior in high school. His what would be eventual potential stepsister is going to play college golf. I
Yeah.
mean, they're playing golf. They're all golf junkies.
Yeah.
He's got games at all times with pros. He spends time with Justin Thomas' dad. I mean, look, I think
Miles
this kid,
Russell. Miles Russell up here in Atlantic Beach. I mean, he's a
he's a
shark.
he's a
At 16,
stick.
17 years old, he plays the old dudes for cash out there
He's
at
not very
Atlantic
big.
Beach. No,
He, I mean,
no.
both of those kids
But he's
are not.
syrupy and
He's
short
good.
game magic on that
He
kid.
is really good. I don't think either of them are as good as Mason Howell that's going to Georgia. Um, but
Did he win the
they're not.
U.S. Junior AM, Mason Howell? What am I thinking about
Yes,
with him?
yeah, yeah.
Atlanta area kid,
I
right?
thought that Blades Brown, that's the shocking part, but he wanted to be a pro. I mean, he would I thought that might sway some of these other kids. But I
Hmm.
do think you're right. I think Liv is probably the biggest worry, but when you really look at these kids, all three of
No.
these kids are college kids. All three of
Yeah.
those kids I just mentioned are college kids.
Yeah, Russell and Charlie for sure. We know
Yeah, Mason Howell, I
isn't
know where
headed
he
to look.
plays. I got a bunch of people around him. I was asking them, they were like, nope, there's no Liv there. He's a golfer, the Walker Cup thing, you know, your golf
Stevens
royalty when you go win
Stevens
a
in the
Walker
show
Cup.
chat. He's talking about Alabama's involvement. Yeah, we like I said, Casey a couple of weeks ago here on the show talked in depth about Alabama being right there in the mix for Charlie Woods and some of the connections there. But Trey Jones, a happy dude tonight, golf coach, Florida State University, old golf coach right here, and Casey Smith. Boy,
He's doing a
imagine picking
tomahawk
up
chop
that.
tonight.
Oh wow, tomahawk ribeye with the
I'll
tomahawk
be
chop.
I tell you what's a really good golf course that they do go play some close to them. I just thought about Glen Arvin Country Club in Thomasville, Georgia. It is the probably in 2024 was the most I played it the first time. I've probably played it three times since. It's the most underrated golf course I think anywhere. Some people call it mini Augusta. I
Hmm.
think they've had five US amateur men or women trophies won out of that club. It just it's old school. It's a bird hunting area, and you have like Eisenhower back in the day.
Okay.
make a statement for there. Check it out, look it up. It is really cool. And
Little
I hear
further, little further away, you got Kindaloo Forest, I
it's
guess,
right
where
there, not far.
they've
Yeah.
had some. They have some of the
It's 30, 40
tour
minutes from Florida,
the
from Tallahassee.
qualifying school. They've had
Yeah.
some of that
Kimberly's
there, right?
good. Yeah. Valdosta Country Club's good. But Thomasville's 30 minutes away from campus, and it's real that Glenarvan's really, really good.
All right, there we go. There's one. We got it from our guy,
That's
Casey
Mason
Smith.
Howell's home course, the US
Okay.
Junior Gym. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Casey, anything else before we get out of here?
No, I did see the guys at Pebble Beach on my favorite hole, 18. Keith Mitchell in the practice round roast a driver and a 5 iron, and like the wind shift, it's
It was
blowing
blowing
big
today, wasn't it?
time. It was blowing in off the coast, so it was a south wind. And I mean, if it does that today, what it did today, they'll have fits this
Did I
week.
see Finau with a driver off seven?
Finau, the driver off
The
7,
par three
body
driver
edge.
guy, Tony
Yeah.
Finau.
I
Yeah.
saw Ache today hit a driver off of same hole and hitting
Oh,
it not over the green. I mean, now they're cutting it and trying to do all that, but
I'm not one of these sadistic individuals that wants that for all four competitive rounds, but I'd like it for one.
I'm
You
with you.
know, I'd like to see it for one.
Saturday's round. That'd be my
Right?
choice if I could
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah.
They need to get through Spyglass and Pebble and Spy. I will tell you this. So the first time I played there, this guy, that's a golf pro in this area, when I was with Callaway, took some guys out there that had earned their right to go play. We played both of those courses. He's wearing white golf pants. You couldn't see at that time his underwear were red, and it's 0% chance of rain, or five or 10% chance of rain. We're all
So guess
gears
what
in our
happens?
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to like 5, and it's like, man, that's God got dark out there.
Yeah.
And 30, I mean, it's not, you don't even feel like it's a minute, and
Yeah.
it's on us, and it's blowing sideways like that, and he's soaked and
Yeah.
miserable, right? Got his red
Right.
underwear out for all the pictures. So he's
So
got his,
you played with Ric Flair, it sounds like.
it's great. So there's a picture on 18 with right there like that. He's got his white pants on, his red underwear, and hey, he left his stuff in the car. But it came up so fast. It was there for 4 holes, and then it was back sunny, and
Yeah.
so it was just like, and filled the whole cups up
It's
with
like
water.
Scotland. I mean,
Yeah,
same
just
kind
comes
of
in and
deal.
out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Casey, appreciate you taking the time
Thank
talking
you.
some Charlie Woods with us live here on a Tuesday night on Reier on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to Reier on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Hit us with a thumbs up. That'll help us out here on the channel as well. For Casey, I'm Travis. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, so long, everybody.